Holy shit, everybody. This is crazy. I'm just seeing it right now. This is unbelievable. Our former president shot at his own rally. I know they're not saying he was shot, but you could see right before the rally, or right before you heard the loud bang, and then he grabbed at his ear and then went down, and everybody looked around. This is crazy, everybody. Our former president, president number 45, has been shot. They say that he is okay, that he's safe. They actually haven't said he's okay. They just said the former president is safe. But this this is unbelievable. Yeah, this is insane, everybody. I wouldn't think I'd be looking at this. And he was defiant. I will give him that. He had the fist up, and but he when they brought him up, he looked disheveled. Blood on his face looked like it came from his ear. This is insane. This happened in Butler, Pennsylvania at his rally. Now, this is the one thing where people always tell him it's a little loose at his rallies. I mean, and obviously, security wise, that it was just proven this might not be as buttoned up as they would think. All they're saying now is that the former president is fine and he's being checked at a medical facility. I think I will say it with everybody. I don't believe our government one bit on what they say. I'm not sure that he is fine, but yeah, he's being checked at the medical facility. Obviously, probably if they're in Pennsylvania, somewhere in their local Butler area, but yeah, and it's the spokesperson saying the former president's fine. I don't trust anybody when it comes to the government or these um, people that are saying they're fine, because they are going to lie and say their person is okay, that they're fine, nothing is wrong. Um, but this is not good because I'm watching this right now, and you see him grab at his ear. He fell, and then everybody else climbed on top of them, and they waited for about a full 2 minutes before, well, they waited for actual armed military looking guards to get on there and hold down the position. And you've seen three people with guns before they raise up the former president. And what's going on, Reese? You see about four people, two of them in military fatigues, before they lift up our former president and get him out there. And he was defiant. I give it to him. He had the fist up. But he looked disheveled. Blood's on his face when they pull him up. They're carrying him off the stage, and then he puts the fist up. Um, he understands, unfortunately, like he knows the optics right now. So he is right now, when he's shot, he's been shot. He's putting his fist up, as I'm seeing right now. His hair's all over the place. They throw his podium. He puts a fist up, stating, I am okay, basically. And then as they carrying him to the car, before he gets on, and the crowd goes crazy when they see the fist pump. So even being shot, he's cussing, he's carrying on. It's the damnedest thing, and you see the blood coming out of his ear. So, like, for anyone to say the president's fine is criminally incorrect. First and foremost, you can't that this happened 15 minutes ago. There's no way you can say 15 minutes later that someone is fine from a gunshot to the ear. There's just no way. I don't care what anyone tells me right now. Will he come to be okay? Maybe. But I don't believe anything right now because I remember when Kennedy got shot. I don't remember because I'm not old enough, but I remember hearing news outlets. I watch old news. They said, oh, the president's fine. He got shot. At first, it wasn't even Kennedy who got shot. It was somebody else. And then it came to Kennedy got shot. Yes, Hossein. I'm feeling pretty good, Rebecca Towns. Thank you guys for being on here. I appreciate you guys. aware that the president, the former president, sorry, and the current Republican nominee has been shot. They got him out of there pretty quickly, about 4 minutes after he got shot. But then they pulled the military out. I just noticed this. You had like 10 people, guards, armed, just shooting. And I got people messaging me right now. Got people messaging me right now. But yeah, it says the Secret Service says the former president is safe. I hope that's true. But let's be honest here. Again, do we trust our government for what they say? No. Let's just be real here. They told us our former president was just fine, that he was cognitively okay. That is obviously not the case. Oh, he was our former president. I didn't say he's our current president. That is not to be decided yet. Right now, we're just worried of making sure he's okay, because no matter if you like him or not, you don't want to see no one get hurt. You don't want to see no one die. Again, I don't agree with what a lot of he says and a lot of what he does. Just for full disclosure, I don't. I don't want to see nothing bad happen to nobody. And this is big news. I don't believe we've ever the closest we've seen maybe in my era was, what was it, Reagan, who got shot? That's the closest we've seen a president being assassinated. And he's not the president right now, but he is the Republican nominee and he is the front runner right now as we speak. Um, and then of course, like I've heard a lot of people already just in the 20 minutes I've gotten messages on my other social media is, hey Dawa, it's all good. It happens. I understand. Trust me, I understand. But yeah, I'm watching this and it's not looking good. I got Wolf Blitzer on my TV looking panicked. Um, I'm just reading it. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think that, I mean, obviously this isn't a good thing. Like I wouldn't want to see this happen to anybody. No political person, nobody. This is crazy. Now, this is probably one of the craziest things in my lifetime. I've dealt with 9/11, COVID, Reagan being shot, but this one is right up there. Not with 9/11 because 9/11 was tragic, but like with Nixon and everything else is kind of right up there. Guys, drop down a comment. What do you guys think? Also, I have a link if you guys want to jump on and kind of go over this with me real quick. Be respectful. And you can jump on the link for a minute and we can talk. Tell us what you think about what's going on right now. See, that's what I'm saying, Rhonda Michael, right there. I'm glad you said that because I've had people texting me on my other social media saying it looked like it was staged. And I'd like to hear why that would be, why someone would do that. He's winning, he's leading in the race. He's not behind or anything. So he wouldn't do this for like votes. Yeah, I've heard that too. God's watching this flat earth. I mean, absolutely, I've heard that. But this is right now. Okay, it looks they have killed the shooter. It looks like yep, he was a shooter. He has been they've officially said it. He has been shot. And they have killed. Again, I'd like to make sure that their reporting is accurate. Hey, Caleb, but if their reporting is to be accurate, the shooter has been shot and killed. I agree. I've always said this. I've been to one of his rallies 6, 7 years ago in 2015. He had it in Virginia. I live in Virginia. I always wanted to see what some of these rallies I've went to. I've went to Democrats. Yeah, Donald Trump has been shot. He got shot at his rally today, Caleb. Right now, about 25 minutes ago, maybe 20 minutes ago, he has been shot at his rally. He grabbed his ear. He went down. And when they pulled him back up, he had blood on his ear, which went to his face. He defiantly put the fist up. And They are saying that he is, I hope he's okay too. Whether you like his politics, whether you like him, you don't want to see this happen to anybody. This is not what you want to see happen to any human being, whether you like them or not. You do not want to see anyone get shot. And there's already been many people for the Democrats and the Republicans have made statements in 25 minutes how this is a tragedy. But Trump's rallies are lackadaisical. I just want to be honest with you guys. They're not, you've seen all these firepower that eventually you see on the stage, but you don't see any of these firepower until something crazy like this happens. You need to kind of show something like you're the firepower that you have to deter, to be like, oh yeah, they got people here. Um, his rallies, you don't really see. You see a couple Secret Service to the side, and that's about it. Yeah, well, I mean, absolutely, we're glad he's alive. But I mean, let's be honest here. The fist pump wasn't a Hitler thing, too. You had people, you had the African Americans in the Olympics that protested the Olympics and then went to the Olympics, raised a big fist. It hasn't always been synonymous to bad things. Yes, that is the first thing you think of, um, but that isn't always a negative or derogatory thing. But again, like I said, I don't defend him. So they're just releasing this now. The shooter and one attendee at the rally is dead. They are not saying how, but two people are dead at this rally as we speak right now. The shooter and an attendee. We are going to hope that attendee isn't the president, the former president, sorry. But they've been saying he's safe. But the Associated Press has determined that this is crazy. This is crazy. He has been shot. Like we're watching this in real time, everybody. Real time. Like tell me your thoughts down below. I have a link if you guys want to jump on here. Give us your thoughts about what's going on right now. Um, like I said, this isn't really about like your political beliefs. This is a very, very tragic and shocking moment for our country again. And unfortunately, this brings back into debate gun laws and everything else. And some will say it's kind of irony for a Republican to be shot because Republicans are so, we want guns, we want guns, we want guns. And then our Republican nominee has been shot with a gun. Um, yeah, this is crazy. Yeah, we're going to learn a lot about this in the next hour, 2 hours. And you have to believe if Trump is okay, he will want to be on TV in the next couple hours to show the world. Um, Trump bodyguards. It was Trump's bodyguards. They're saying that did it. Yeah, yeah. This is insane. Like, and then you've got this is what's crazy. Like, this is the only bad thing. You got the people who's being shot. That like you've got the crowd who I guess have their attention on the person who shot him, and they're giving the middle finger. Um, I'll be honest with you, no one at this rally seemed that scared. Um, yes, yeah, yeah, that's what they're saying now. One of the Secret Service member took out the shooter. Now it says one attendee is dead also. Um, no, you didn't mishear me. One of the Secret Service shot is what they're saying on CNN right now. Um, but yeah, but I'd like to know more about the attendee that died. Um, because that tells you a lot. Because the only person you've seen that was shot was Donald Trump. So, like, you know how they like to play loose and fast with wording. It says, and at least one rally attendee. Well, okay, one rally attendee wouldn't mean the former president, obviously, because he wasn't an attendee. He was the attended. Yeah. No, this is crazy, everybody. Like, this is insane. But, like, his crowd ain't scared. Like, that's the crazy thing about his crowds. I've been a part of his crowd one time. And his crowd literally ain't scared of shit. Like they're going crazy. They see Trump putting up the fists in defiance, and that was their cue to be like, okay, he's fine, and they're going crazy. And look, let's be honest here, that shooter that was never going to make it out of that Trump rally alive. Whether an officer got him, whether he got himself, if none of those two happened, one of those attendees were going to get him. Because you are not taking a shot at the former president. We all know how strong his base is. And I'd like to take a minute to right here and just to say that not everybody who supports him is a racist or a crazy person or anything like that. They're just not. I would agree. I'm a very big conspiracy theorist myself, Rhonda. I really am. Um, if it wouldn't have been for the fact that out of nowhere he grabs here, he drops. They have him on the ground for about 2 minutes and have all his Secret Service and then military looking people. This happened 2 hours away from me in Butler, Pennsylvania. When he got back up, the blood was right where he grabbed. And we all know one thing about Donald Trump. He doesn't want to look weak. So, like, I don't think he would ever agree to let himself drop and then be held for minutes. And then when he gets up, his hair's all crazy looking, blood's on his face. I just don't think he would let himself look weak. Um, yeah, yeah. That's my opinion. Like I said, I am a big conspiracy theorist. I'm the guy that thinks our government killed Kennedy. I'm the guy that thinks there was more to all that stuff. Yeah. But this is definitely like, yeah. I mean, let's be honest here. We'll all say this. Some people will say what we're surprised it hasn't already happened. Some people will say that, and I agree. And this is what happens when you play loose and fast at your. There is a downfall to having these type of rallies. There's a positive to it. It gets some great numbers. It looks great on TV. It feels great. I've been in one. Um, but this is the downfall. When you have it that loose, when you have it playing that fast, that crazy, and then just to see the other people around, you see them ducking around some, like as soon as he grabs his ears, and you can hear the popping. And then you see people looking over where the Secret Service shot the off the camera. You see like 30 people looking off down. So you can tell they're looking at where the shooter was being dealt with, but they're saying the former president is okay. Well, he's fine, and that he's being checked at a medical facility. Again, I'm a conspiracy theorist. I don't believe this whole our former president is fine until I see him on TV. And the reason why is because we've had Miss Kennedy when he was assassinated. At first, for like the first 20 minutes, it wasn't him that got shot. It was the governor of Texas. Then it was the vice president, and then it was the former president who got shot, Kennedy, or the president at the time who got shot was Kennedy. So like I understand how the first hour is really important about not believing too much of everything about what's being posted right now. That's why I said if what they're reporting is correct, because that first hour, a lot of things are being said. Like they just said he was shot. Like I've been saying he was shot for about 45 minutes because you could clearly tell Um, I think I don't think it was staged. I think that was meant to happen. I just think there was people in our that made sure that happened down in Texas. But this is the, yeah. That's what I would tell you though, Rhonda. In all seriousness, and my channel's not political, but I have thoughts on politics. I've followed politics my whole life. They will probably give out the shooter of the name. Oh, okay, we got more news. There's a second one in serious condition. So there's two dead. One is the shooter, and one is the person and one is the attendee. And then there's a second person that's in serious condition. So we have two dead and one in serious condition. Now, it doesn't say that one who's in serious condition, if they were an attendee, if they're that potentially could be the former president. Um, Again, I look in the wording of these news places and the way they say things. And they said one's dead and one attendee is dead. Like the shooter's dead and the attendee's dead. And then it said a second is in serious condition. It didn't say a second attendee's in serious condition. Sometimes you have to understand the play on the words there. I mean, they potentially could be talking about the former president because they didn't say an attendee this time. Like they had no problem letting you know that attendee was hurt and then an attendee was dead. Now all of a sudden, the second person is in critical condition. Could be a police officer, could be obviously another attendee, could be the former president. These are all the things, but and what do you guys think this does for? I mean, let's be honest here. What do you think? He has the Republican National Convention on Monday. We're what on Saturday? So in 2 days, he is going to be in Milwaukee. Is it? Or I believe Milwaukee to accept the nomination. I don't think he accepts it on Monday, but he'll be there Monday. What does this affect his president? His does this affect in a negative way or a positive way or not at all his campaign? Um, I mean, don't get me wrong. If something's wrong with the president, former president, I give all presidents the respect. Obama, I call him President Obama, President Bush, all of them. I know I keep saying president, but in this aspect, it's the former president just because we have a current president right now. Um, um, if you're going to dwell down that conspiracy hole, I would honestly, my first assumption would be the opposition. And yes, Caleb, it doesn't look good for Biden. It didn't look good for Biden. Like, I'm personally here to say, I think this actually helps Donald Trump, our former president, because he's already doing well, and that's partly because of our president Joe Biden, who I respect immensely too. Has kind of just hasn't helped himself at all, and it's unfortunate because Joe is a good guy. Um, Seems like a good guy. He's only about 4 hours away from me, Rehoboth Beach, um, maybe 5 hours. But I saw someone say in a statement there should be no one who's in their 80s running for president, and I can't say that I disagree. I 100% agree. Um, but yeah, if I were to go down that whole Rhonda, yeah, you've had the Democrats. Um, Come out. You've had a Hakeem Jeffries come out and say that this was a tragedy. And see, and that's the other thing I'm waiting on is Chuck Schumer, Hakeem Jeffries. There's like been five or six. Biden has said nothing, but there's been five or six people who are high up in our government, like third and fourth in command, has said this is a tragedy. Um, and it is a tragedy. But again, I'm very big on wordplay. And is it a tragedy because something worse? He got shot right here, ladies and gentlemen. That's very close to the temple. Again, he got up, fist raised, so it's not like he went down and he was unconscious and never regained conscious, kind of like Kennedy or nothing. He was very conscious getting into that Secret Service SUV. He was very conscious. So I don't want to go and say that anything crazy because I don't know. But he was shot technically in the head, um, jaw, face, but right here he was shot. So whoever shot him, let's be honest here, is I would say is a pretty good shot, but I would like to think that he probably wasn't aiming there. He's probably aiming a little higher and just missed, or Trump moved, or the wind trajectory happened, thankfully. But yes, they got still right now blood all over his face. They're showing it. Blood went from his ear all the way. They're giving close ups into his mouth. Yeah, he's got some blood coming. But no, President Biden has not said anything yet, ladies and gentlemen. They're showing pictures now of the Secret Service laying on top of Donald Trump, our former president. So, but yeah, this is insane. I'm waiting for the president to come out right now. And obviously, he's a good guy. So it shouldn't be long before the president comes out here and denounces this violent act on his competitor, probably someone, let's be honest, he doesn't like. I mean, he has to say something. I mean, I just want to be completely honest. The longer this goes for Joe not saying anything, the worse this looks. And here's why I say this, because Donald Trump and all of Joe Biden's flubs and his debate and everything else has not made fun of him one time, because of the way he's made fun of, like the way he handled things with like Afghanistan and stuff, but he's not made fun of him, hasn't made fun of him at all. If they, the longer it takes him to get out here and to disavow this act, the worse it's going to be for Joe Biden. Because what I will tell you this, if this would have been the other way around, Donald Trump would have found a TV and said that was a horrible thing to happen. Yes, did he denounce Charlottesville? It took him what, 5, 6 days? That happened in my state. But I promise you, if this would have happened to the president, or if this would have happened to one of his presidential opponents when he was running for president, he would have came out and said some nice things and wished them well. So the longer this goes for Joe, the worse this looks on him. And I'm just being completely honest. Like, we're about 35 to 40 minutes into this. I say by 8:30, Joe Biden needs to hit the TV. Not somebody from a statement. He can't release a statement. Joe Biden has to hit this TV. And Joe Biden has to tell the American people that this was wrong, because Donald Trump is in some serious, serious shit right now.
Well, they said his shoulder or his.
No, he's been shot in his face. He's been shot in the face. No, he got shot right in the ear. No, that they've shown videos. He got shot in his ear. He went down, and and this is not good.
The shooter's dead.
And the
They had a rally yesterday.
and there's a and there
Where was it at?
and there's
Oh, Pennsylvania.
and
Yeah.
there's a second person in serious critical condition.
Oh my God! How many shots?
Uh, there was 3 shots fired going towards the former president, and there's, I don't know about the rest.
Oh my God!
But yes, so I'm thinking it very well could have grazed his ear, hence why he got up, pumped. Well, he didn't just get up, everybody. He was held down, and you had machine guns and military people out there for 2 minutes. And when they brought the former president up, he was disheveled, he was bloody, he looked confused for about 5 seconds, and then he raises his fist, and then he raises the fist to just let everybody know he's fine. But he was pissed because I think you can hear him mouth a cuss word. But you see that blood on his ear. He was shot in the ear because he grabbed the ear and went down. but he is defiant. He is mad. He's in shock.
Yeah.
And then I don't believe our government right now, ladies and gentlemen. They're saying that he's fine, that he's being treated in a medical facility. I'm not sure I believe that.
Used to be 66-year-old woman? What?
They haven't said who it was, Caleb, that has shot him yet. But
English plain. Who are they talking about?
this is crazy, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know.
Your pad's going crazy, Mom.
Oh, what? Your cat? Oh, Laura.
And I don't.
Haven't been monitoring.
Yeah, and I don't believe our government. They're saying he's fine. I've been reminding the people on live. They also when they.
Look hurt severe.
I mean, he's bloody.
Well, a little blood from his ear and
He's shot.
severe. He's in shock, probably, right? Just from it happening. There's Laura.
Well, if he comes up dead, you remember you said that about an hour ago. They said that about Kennedy too.
No, Kennedy got severe shot.
No, I know, but remember, no one was there. They had.
Mom, he's on one. Oh, I thought he was talking
No,
about.
he's not talking to you. He's talking to his wife.
Absolutely, Rhonda. And I think he'll hit the TV by 8:30. I like that.
For Peyton. Do you see what it is?
Santa Claus that's dabbing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Thanks for the good tips.
Wow.
You're very welcome.
Guess what was weird?
But yes, he is definitely.
Oh, you kicked that box.
Oh, I think.
All right, ladies, I'm gonna come in my daughter's room. My other family's gotten here. I'm gonna turn this on in here. Well, that's what I was getting ready to say. Unfortunately, everybody, this is kind of the irony, because everybody knows it's the Republicans who support the RNC very, very much, and then obviously the Republican national, um, the Republican nominee gets shot on a stage, obviously by a gun. So if here's what I will tell everybody, and I think you guys can agree with this. If there was ever somebody of importance to get shot and it was going to change something, this is the guy that you get shot, a gun law changes a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the person. They say Trump is fine per spokesperson and is being checked at the medical facility. Again, I hope that's true. I hope that's correct. I mean, he did look fine. I mean, he could have been hit with adrenaline, but he looked defiant and everything else. But this is insane. Yep. Suspected shooter at Trump rally dead. Yep, they've already said that. The district attorney has come out and said that. It's a little hard. I'm reading it to you guys, everybody, because I've decided to go live because this is huge. But yeah, Rhonda, I agree. I'm big on conspiracies. Like, I've got people saying in my own house that it looks set up, that it looks staged. So, I mean, absolutely. Absolutely. You better believe it. Like I told you, if there was ever a person that was going to get shot and it was going to change a gun law, it's this guy. Like him or not, he is a very polarizing figure in the world, good and bad, good and bad. And I am very much the first one to admit that. Um, he has good and bad with him, but you always have something to say about him, and it's kind of always been like that with him. Like, from what my family tells me, who's older than me, that he was like this in the 70s. Maybe not as gregarious, but he's who he is. He's been like this his whole life. So the way he is shouldn't surprise anybody. But I hope he's okay, and it seems to be he's okay. And I do hope they take a look at some of these laws, gun laws, to be honest with you, because again, I'm very pro-gun, but I also don't think the normal civilian needs an assault rifle. My opinion, just my opinion, and my opinion's worth about nothing, and I understand that. I'm just saying, I just don't think your normal American, like my neighbor Bob, I need to know, doesn't have an assault rifle. I don't. Yeah, and I'm glad if this is the big bully. And again, I'm a big conspiracy theorist about what our government says, but also not just what our says, but within that first hour, some of the reporting is tough because they still haven't technically said he's been shot. It said Trump injured in shooting, but you can tell he was shot. He grabbed his ear. There's blood coming out of it. Not a lot of blood. So he could have been grazed. It might not have got a clean shot. But I think we all can agree this is probably going to help his ratings even more. Um, I guess he would tell you, if anything, why couldn't this happen closer to the election? Because he was already going to get a bump from the Republican National Convention. Yeah, I know. That's what I was just saying. There's been two people killed, the gunman and an attendee, and then somebody is in serious condition right now. Um, we all agree Trump needs to tighten up his um, security. Has to. This isn't going to stop his rallies. We know that. But I promise you, I promise you, his next rally's probably going to be behind bulletproof glass. Like what was it? Was it the January 6th? Wasn't that behind glass? I can't remember. Um, if I'm right, let me know down in the comments below. Um, his next couple rallies are going to have to be behind bulletproof glass when he does them in public. They're just going to have to be, and they're going to have to take measures to protect people in the crowd, obviously. But more than importantly, they're going to have to maintain who comes in that building or outside because it's outside. You better believe that, Rhonda. That's why I'm when they say a second person in critical condition. They didn't say it was an attendee like they said the one person was dead. You have now the Secret Service again says the former president is safe, but you have the people on the Capitol Hill right now that are talking saying it's a tragedy. Schumer, Jeffries, Pelosi. Those are the three heavy hitters right now. And everybody, even if you don't follow politics, you've heard of Schumer's, Jeffries, Pelosi. When are we going to hear from Biden, the current president? He is always on top of everything. Um, I know he will. I will give him until 8:30 to come out and talk. That'll be about an hour since it happened, maybe an hour and 10 minutes. But and it can't be. I think we can all agree, everybody. He can't do it by statement. He has to put himself in front of and it could just be brief, 45 seconds, and be gone. But he's got to put himself in front of a camera and just say what happened today was a tragedy because it is, and hopes that our former president is doing okay, or that he's talked to the former president and has been relayed to him that he's okay, just to show that, hey, even though we don't like each other for real, I reached out to his people and they personally told me he's okay. That's kind of what we need right now. Like, what we talk about is uniting as a country. That always seems great. You need to know when some bad shit happens that someone can call somebody and it'd be okay for 5 minutes to call and say, hey, hope you're okay. You know what I mean? Like, that's just my personal opinion. Like, I know some of these people for real hate each other, but I know some of these people don't dislike each other. They don't agree. Um, So yeah, I'm hoping that our president gets out here, says that he's either had contact and with somebody there knows he's okay, or just says how this is horrible and he doesn't wish this on anybody. I hope this isn't the time where our president decides to be quiet. Absolutely, I hope they do. They need to tighten this up for both because here's the message it sends. If anything, this just sent got to the message to people. we don't want this nominee, and people are going to send that, and people don't want the other nominee. We've already been, but this is just Trump rally shooting being investigated as an attempted, well, if you want to call Captain Obvious over here, CNN has just put out that Trump rally shooting is being investigated as an attempted assassination. I think I said that 30 minutes ago with you guys here. I said that right. Can I get a news channel? I mean, CNN just said it. I mean, that's always just checked out. That is always a possibility. Because again, I'm a big conspiracy theorist. But here's what I'll say about that one also. If it was an inside job, he'd probably be dead. That's just also my opinion. Those are my two things. If this was staged, Trump wouldn't let that happen because it would make him look weak. And he wouldn't let that happen to himself. And if it was an inside job, I'm 100% convinced that Trump wouldn't be here right now if it was inside. So I do think this was just a random person who's not happy with Trump, and probably for good reasons. And that's true too, Rhonda. Look, man, I'm very fair to both President Biden and former President Trump. Look, I'll just be honest with you. A lot of people talk about this, and not a lot of people will admit this because they're growing a YouTube channel and what have you not. But I'm an independent. I voted Democrat and um, Republican. Um, it's all about politics for me. It's all about what I think is best for our country overall. Like, you can check the morals at the door because morals don't run our country, unfortunately. Um, the character of a person is good, but that doesn't run our country. And I'm unfortunately here to tell you guys sometimes it takes a shitty person to go deal with some of these shitty people that run the country and run the world. Yeah, Caleb, that's true. Sometimes you need a less than desirable candidate to deal with some of these less desirable people. You know what I mean? Uh, no, and here's why. Because and here's another reason why I'll say this. My opinion: you'd have to kill him seriously to get him not to run for president. That's as simple as that goes. Like, for him not to run for president, you would have to take the air out of his body. He was told before he ran for president again, before any criminal charges were brought against him, go away and we won't press charges. He's just very, very egotistical. And that's not a bad thing either. Um, like, I'm going to be honest with you. I was leaning towards not voting for a while. And I'll just be the one honest with you. I voted for Trump in 2016 and 2020. Sorry if you guys hate me, unsubscribe. I love you guys. But I'm also not one of these crazy ass people who believe in everything he says either. I'm not one of these. I have my own mind, and I'm not one of these people that just think and believe everything he says. I know he's a liar. I know he's not a great person. I know this. It's when you know what you're dealing with, you can handle what you're dealing with. Yep, policies is big. Just checked out. That's what runs your country. Unfortunately, it's not the man. It's not the character of the man. Like, look, Obama had a pretty good character. George Bush wasn't a horrible guy. None of these people were really bad. I would say the worst one, it seems like, that we've had in a while is our former 45th. But again, we know what we got when we were getting into it. So I understand that, Rhonda, and that's exactly why after the debate, it let me know who I was voting for. Um, and again, I don't agree with a lot of them. I have four daughters, um, but policies, and I'm going to be completely honest with you, as an American person who votes, I don't want Joe Biden. Everyone's seen the mess he was, and I love Joe, but everyone saw the mess he was at the debate, and even his news conference the other day called Trump his vice president. I don't want that going to deal with Vladimir Putin or anybody else for that matter. I don't want that. I don't, because if he was like that on national TV in front of 25.2 million people, how is he behind closed doors? And I ask you guys that same question just to think about. If he was that bad on TV, how bad is he with that when the cameras go off? You know what I mean? So, yes, this is absolutely crazy. You got every news coverage says Trump injured in shooting. Can I ask that too? Also, everybody, how can you be the former president is fine, but he's injured? Can you be injured and fine, or are they thinking as long as he's not dead from a gunshot, he's fine? Is that what they're saying? Like, I try to read into words. I do. Yeah, I would say the whole stepping stone to the Republican, I would believe that if it wasn't for the fact that everybody who's running the Republican Party right now isn't somebody either Donald Trump, Laura Trump, or a Trumpian, so to speak. Well, that's easy. The Democrats are trying to be nice and let Joe go out with some dignity. Um, Hakeem Jeffries went to the White House the night of the debate and let them know that he was not endorsing Joe, but he didn't publicly come out and say he wanted him to resign, or not resign, but come out of the race. They're trying to be respectful and let Joe Biden exit the race with dignity. But they did have Pelosi and Obama meet with each other to see if they could figure out a way to get Joe to come to his senses and to maybe go away. So I think they're trying to let Joe make this decision because let's be honest here, that's a horrible look. If the Democratic Party bullies Joe Biden out of the nomination that he won fairly, then that's a bad look. That's going to be a whole Bernie Sanders all over again. You guys know how that happened with Bernie. Um, Bernie Sanders got screwed because of the whole super delegate thing, and it was just bad shape after that. Um, so, hey, Lovey, can you please hand me my thing,
What do you want?
my charger? So I'm dead, and I want to use my
You don't want
Energizer.
I'm pretty sure people don't walk and talk when they're dead.
Well,
Look,
yeah,
look, look, what do you think of that?
I love my mother-in-law. Everybody, one day I'll show you her. That'll be the day she wants to kill me. Um, Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. Sorry, I lost my train of thought because I see my phone's going dead. So I got my Energizer thing. That was a horrible look, and they forgot how bad that looks to the American people. That Bernie Sanders got screwed out of that nomination, like royally got screwed. So because of the super delegates and everything, so they don't want to do that again because that cost them. Let's just be really honest here. That cost them the 2016 election. Everyone wants to blame that on Comey and Benghazi, which Benghazi did have a big part on that. But also screwing somebody had a lot to do with that too. That rubbed a lot of because look, you're going to get 40% of the Democrats to vote for you. You're going to get 40% of the Republicans to vote for you, no matter who you are. You need the 20% of the independents to vote for you. I'll tell you that in a minute. But you need 20% of the independents to vote for you, and that rubbed about 7% of those people the wrong way on how their nominee was set up. You better believe it was crazy. The oldest person that year had the younger Democrat, the younger voting, which I thought was hilarious. Now, as far as my opinion on the Kennedy candidate, uh-oh. See, I can't do this. I'm trying to hold on, guys. I'm getting something from Joe Biden. Biden is grateful Trump is safe and doing well after the shooting. Um, there's no place for this kind of violence. but this was just a statement. He did not come out on the TV. Let me know what you guys think, everybody. Do you think that Biden should have had to come out, or do you think just a statement? Hold on, awaiting Biden's statement on shooting at Trump rally. So he came out with a statement. Does this mean he's hitting the stage? You better believe that. And it's true. I mean, it rubbed people the wrong way. And guess what happened? Caleb and Rhonda, they changed the whole super delegate thing after that. They wiped that whole thing away. Because if they would have had that 0-0 from the get go, Bernie Sanders is the nominee. And I think it's safe to say Bernie Sanders would have beat Donald Trump in 2016, and we would have never had a Trump presidency and probably never had a Trump um, ever being president because I don't think he runs in 2020 after losing and stuff like that. So, um, yeah. So that's the crazy thing going on. Yep. Joe Biden has just hit the hold on, everybody.
Get a hold of Donald. He's with his doctors. They apparently he's doing well. I plan on talking to them shortly.
Okay, he hasn't got a hold of
Telephone. Look, there's no place in America for this kind of violence. It's sick. It's sick. We cannot allow for this to be happening. We cannot be like this. We cannot condone this. And so, and I want to thank the Secret Service.
he's in Rehoboth Beach right now.
In making sure that Trump and we have more details. It's other people make it easier than the audience. We don't have all that detail. We'll make that available to you. I may be able to.
Okay, so basically what he's saying right now is he did exactly what I asked. I told you I gave him till 8:30. He did very good. He came out and said he hasn't talked to Donald Trump yet. He said he's with his doctors, but he said he plans on getting Donald Trump on the phone in the next hour or so. He also said that this is no place for the violence, which we obviously know. I'm glad he hit the stage because look, man, we all know one thing: Biden and Trump do not like each other whatsoever. So I'm glad to see that he came out and denounced it. Obviously, like I thought we all thought he would. Yeah, Bernie was cool, man. Bernie, it was funny. The old guy had the young vote, but it ruined a lot of people's trust. Okay, Biden just said that they asked him if this was an assassination plot. He said he has an opinion, but he doesn't have the facts. So I don't blame you, Caleb. A lot of people voted that way that year. Maybe not in 2020 because he just left. Look, I asked this exactly what Joe just did. He hit the stage. He was on there 2 minutes and done. He's at Rehoboth Beach. That's where he lives, vacation home. He hit the stage, said what he said, and left. So that makes me feel a little better knowing that Trump is okay because he wouldn't have come out saying that Trump was okay and he'll talk to him in the next hour or two if he didn't know for sure he was okay. Um, but he did exactly what he needed to do. He came out there. He said that it was bullshit. It needs to stop. No place for violence. Hopes Trump's okay. That'd probably be the nicest thing he says about Trump until after the election. But he did exactly what I thought he would do. And look, I'm a firm believer. I have no problem with Joe Biden. I think Joe Biden is a good guy. I really do. I just think he's over. I think he's about 4 years past when it comes to running the country. Unfortunately, I'm going to be really honest with you guys. He did something. He didn't do what Barack Obama did for him. Barack Obama used to have lunches with Joe Biden at the White House once a week while he was in the country. If he wasn't overseas or nothing crazy like that, he used to have him over, and just to get him ready to become president if something happened to him. And unfortunately, he's done nothing like that for Kamala Harris. Like, whether you like her or not, I don't know enough about her. And she ran for president for the nominee and lost to Joe Biden in 2020. So I don't know enough about her. I don't know enough about her policies. I barely know she's from California. He just didn't do anything for her to help her in case she needed to run if something happened to him. And a lot of people are also holding, like independents. I'm not talking about Democrats, because about 40% are going to vote for him anyways. A lot of independents are nervous to vote for Biden because they don't know what they're getting in Kamala Harris. And that's Joe Biden's fault. Barack Obama made sure he was ready. Why he didn't do that for her, I have no idea. Yeah, and that's what I mean. I don't know personally, and I know a lot. I follow things, but not everybody knows that, Caleb, and you know that. You're a smart person. He just hasn't. I hate to be like this, but he's put her at the border, which is a losing battle, which is not good. He's put her at the border, and that's a losing battle for his party. And he puts her in places to go get the vote out that for the inner city communities. Like, has he put her in positions that would make you feel like, okay, if something happens to him, I feel good, unless you actually know about her. Maybe you're from California, you know about her. That's cool. But I'm from Virginia. I know she's from California. I barely knew she was a judge. Um, and that's it. So and again, if Trump's fine, like everyone says he is, um, you will see his ass on TV before this night is over. You better believe that, because Donald Trump is not going to let this look. Don't get me wrong. He probably likes the look of raising the fist and the crowd going crazy. That's a good look. But blood on the face, that's not, he doesn't want that image in someone's head very long. And we know that. He's that much of a control the narrative person to not want that out there. So, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe this live. I appreciate you. We'll be doing a little bit more of these now that I've dabbled my foot in the politic realm. Again, it's my opinion. I understand. Please understand. People who support the Democrats aren't crazy. People who support Trump aren't crazy. Like, people support who they support. Hopefully, everyone supports them for the right reason. I do understand when it comes to Trump, he's got a crazy ass base. I'm just not one of them. I'm a normal person who can think with his mind, understand our former president is not the greatest. But I will say this about his presidency. His presidency was fine. He just couldn't shut up and get out of his own way. He's his worst enemy. Because if he would have shut his mouth and just let his presence, his policies and everything, he did a lot of what he said he was going to do before he became president. That's what every person who wants to vote a president in wants them to do what they said they're going to do. And he did a lot of what he said he was supposed to do. Absolutely, Caleb, 100%. And I've always said this. At least he's the evil we know. There's plenty of politicians that come out being nice, and they're not nice. At least you know what you're getting with him. Well, absolutely, Caleb. He didn't help himself, and COVID didn't help him either. COVID wasn't his fault. Now, his stupid comment about bleach, that was his fault. But before he started talking crazy, I knew he was going to lose because he was the victim of COVID. Crazy enough, though, I am surprised that George Bush won re-election after 9/11, but that thing, he did kind of galvanize the country. So maybe I'm not that surprised that he won the president, that he won re-election. But Trump was never going to win just because of COVID. And then because his presidency for the first 3 years were probably really tame. It's around COVID happened and everything else that you better believe he could have had one. He didn't, and let's be honest, Caleb, he's probably getting a second term. I'm gonna say with 80% confidence, he's getting a second term. And that's because the Democrats are trying to be nice, and I understand why. But they're not trying to push Biden out too quickly because they want him to do it himself. He's not going to do it. So they're either A, going to get him out of the race like around August and September. And again, what does that sound like? 2016, when the nominee for the Democratic wasn't settled till August. And they had September, October, 2 months to go after Donald Trump. Trump was attacking the Democratic nominee since February of that year. Yeah, well, yeah, absolutely, because you had the Florida rate. Yeah, absolutely, 100%. But no, just COVID itself happening was bad. No president. It was going to be hard for any president to survive that. Because everything he did for COVID wasn't going to be appreciated until after he lost the election, like the checks that he was giving people and stuff like that. Um, but yes, this that's the crazy thing. Like in August, in 2016, that's when things were set up, and Hillary took the nomination, and then finally she loses in November. That's going to happen again. Like if they get Joe out of the race, it'll be about August, and it'll be 2 months too late. And they've got too much infighting going on right now to get him out of the race. He's never going to win the race. How is he going to become president when your own, like, that's the American people. That's the 20% of independents, what they're thinking right now. Why are we going to vote for Joe Biden when his own party doesn't want him in there? Now, again, I will say there's about 5 to 6% of those independents that will just not vote for Trump because of Trump. So that's probably about 4% of the people will vote for Biden. 2% will either vote for independent or just won't vote. Yeah, you ain't lying, Caleb. And I think it made it a lot worse. Like it had good intentions, but you had people take advantage of it. I do think it had good intentions, but it said shooter was outside the Trump rally venue. So the shooter wasn't even inside. The shooter was outside of the venue. We have one dead and a second one in serious condition. So one person, the person who shot Donald Trump was not even in the building. And I know it's not the building. I mean on the property, like in the venue or in they were outside of the so that's why they didn't catch it because this person never came onto the property. Here's the problem with that. That sounds a lot like the Kennedy assassination. They came from outside of the scope of where they were patrolling. And same thing here. Have we not learned anything? Apparently not, because Kennedy got shot from outside of the venue of where they were going from a building. And Donald Trump was shot from outside of where he was at from a building. Do they not monitor some of these buildings that are outside of the peripheral? Hell no, Caleb. No. I think what are we at right now? 3.5, 4%. I can't remember exactly what we're at. Um, but yeah, you definitely never see two again. You'll 100% never see two again. And you're probably right about three. Um, oh, it's eight. Fuck, Jesus Christ. What am I thinking of? Yeah, you'll never. Yeah, wow. Is that the federal rate? The Fed's interest rate, Caleb? Or am I thinking of a different rate? That's crazy. That's crazy. He was shot outside of the venues, outside of the where they checked. Oh, Michigan. Okay. Okay. Yeah, probably not.
The bang, it immediately sounded like gunshots to me. And then when I saw the former president raise his hand towards the right side of his face, and we saw some blood, I immediately realized there must have been gunshots. Did you immediately realize that as
Well, everybody, I'm going to jump off here. I appreciate you guys being on here. If something else happens, I will jump on here and get with you guys. Watch for more of my politically opinions and things. We all do this respectfully, though. I don't appreciate anyone like disrespecting one another for their views or anything. So please do me a favor, drop a like, subscribe to the channel. I have also a membership too, if you are able to. Absolutely. Agree to disagree, but definitely no violence. Thank you very much, Caleb. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. And I will see you guys again, whether it's my ride alongs or political Thank you so much. And if something breaks while I'm charging my phone up, I will jump back on here. Hopefully I won't have to. Have a great night, guys.